I'll give you a clue. It was Grimsby.
They are pressing quite well. What's happened there? You've got to be joking.
Oh, sorry, I've done it the wrong way around because I've drawn an arrow and I haven't seen it. Sorry.
He must have a horsey up his ass.
If we're playing on professional and that's happening for Barcelona...
2 years ago. Sorry about that, I don't know what that was.
I'm sorry, that's just put me off the game. I'm not having that.
Anyway, segue, moving on.
What has that got to do with football? Why is that at a football ground? Hello and welcome to another ramble from the Honest Football Podcast. I'm Charlie Betts, and joining me this week and every week are Daniel Cody and Craig Savage.
Yes, well, we're going to bring the honesty back to the beautiful game. We're going to talk about the good, the bad and somewhat ugly stories of the footballing world.
Yes, this will be a slightly Christmas-themed ramble this week, and just to warn you guys, as it's the last episode before Christmas, there will be no midweek rant on Tuesday, as it's Christmas Day, and we don't want to spoil your mood.
So how's your week been, guys? It's Christmas week, as we know.
Yeah.
What has happened in your life?
Well, we can see Charlie's Christmas tree is suitably prepared, can't we?
But the others at home can't see it, so...
No, only I can see it. That was pointless way to start, wasn't it? There you go, that's what kind of week it's going to be.
We're not drinking sherry right now, we're only drinking iron brew.
No, all being a teacher, you do get the odd
Present?
chocolate bar and, well, tub of Haribo, which always reeks of Christmas, doesn't it? So... But yeah, there's a few presents under the tree.
Good.
What about yourself, Craig?
I'm back to work on Christmas week.
It's about bloody time, if
So,
I may say
obviously
so.
You've been bleeding the state for about 40 weeks now, haven't you?
Yeah, so...
I mean, I don't want to call your GP a fraud, but I mean, come on. You've got to have had a dodgy deal
I
in
didn't
there.
bother going to the GP. I thought
so after your long layoff after your knee surgery, Craig,
Yes.
you're now back to work. How's that been for you?
I was
Culture shock, I imagine.
Well, not really. He's only been doing about 2 hours a day, hasn't he?
I was welcomed back with open arms, just like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has at Manchester United.
That's Premier League. We don't talk about that, Craig.
No, we don't.
No, I know what you mean.
But
so are you back in the swing of it then at work?
I am. It's felt like nothing has changed really. Probably got a bit worse, but it is Christmas week. It's very busy. My warehouse is completely rammed, but I'm hoping to be
Very good.
Hopefully it all shifts in the next few days.
Okay.
Lovely stuff. For me, I just want to take us through our usual weekly topic.
And now it's time for Cadbury Advent Candle of the Week.
Yes. Don't forget, it's a Premier League Advent
Yes, the
calendar.
Premier League one.
There's
There's
some
no Premier
cracking
League at
ones
all.
this week.
We're not mentioning Premier League, but we are mentioning this Premier League.
Now, we have continued our random, very much, we did say an assorted mix, it couldn't get much more assorted. Charlie clearly pointed out 2 weeks ago, and this week it has continued to form. So, let's just take you through the 7 this week before we carry on, and then we can have some comments on it afterwards. Day 1 from the podcast, horse, followed by...
Very Christmassy.
Yes, followed by a half moon with a creepy face on it.
That's Premier League.
Followed by a Christmas gift box.
Oh, that's definitely Premier League.
Followed by a train.
That's very Premier League because people get to games by train.
Followed by what we decided was either a chestnut or a pear.
That baffled me the most. I could not work out.
That's definitely part of the Christmas.
My other half went for pear as in partridge and a pear tree, but I think she's linking this a bit too closely to Christmas based on Cadbury's previous expectations in the last few days. Then randomly we got into the Valentine spirit yesterday with a heart-shaped bow. And,
because that's Premier League, love the game.
Of course, absolutely. And today we're back with Premier League music, a guitar/violin, of course.
Which very much looked like a cello.
It could have been anything. Considering the cow that we had about a week and a half ago had perfectly carved grass into it. This one hadn't even carved round the long bit.
I would say that was a lazy effort. I've got to be honest.
How technical can you get on a violin? The long bit down the middle.
Just like texture.
No, it was a very lazy. What was the plain chocolate to vanilla cream ratio this week?
I'm going to start to speculate here. Because the chocolates were very small for the first few days, obviously I didn't really notice much, so I presume they were just chocolate. But ever since I've noticed on 6 or 7, they've all been vanilla cream. So I'm starting to think they may have all been. But just the first 4 or 5 were so small that because they're only about 20% vanilla cream, I wouldn't have actually noticed in the first few.
I think it's all in your head, mate. Once you had it once, that's it. You think it's in every chocolate.
I can promise you it's in every chocolate because I've taken a picture of the middle of every single one, ready for my formal complaint that I'll be writing on Boxing Day this year.
So, what's the Twitter for Cadbury's? At Cadbury UK?
I believe so, and they are going to be getting a barrage.
I hope that we don't get blocked by them.
I'm sure we will, Craig. Don't worry, mate.
And now it's time for Ramble of the Week.
So we're going to start off in India, Craig. Now, we've
India.
been trying to shelter you from this story just to get a bit more of a natural reaction to
Yes,
it. Dan and I know
because
this.
I don't know anything.
Occasionally, life just gives you the most amazing football stories, and this is one of them.
Not always for the right reason.
No, not for the right reason.
You gotta really set this up.
So we're going to start in India. Forgive me for pronunciation. Forgive me for pronunciations. I can't even pronounce the word pronunciation.
Thank you,
which is
teacher.
embarrassing. Of players and teams, because we're starting in the Indian Super League.
Yes.
So you might have read recently that the Indian Super League they had a new youngest record goal scorer by the name of Gourav Mukhi. Did you read that story?
No, I have not.
Well, anyway, he plays for Jamshedpur FC.
Yeah.
I might have got that
That's
wrong.
not bad.
That's very good.
And it was an equaliser and a 2-2 draw against Bengaluru FC. So he was, at the age of 16, youngest ever goal scorer in the league. But there was a...
Well, I don't think there's a twist to this.
Well, there is a twist to this, because basically, last week, he's now been given a 6-month ban.
Oh!
Would you like to speculate as to why India's youngest ever goal scorer has been given a 6-month ban?
Because he's not 16?
He is not 16, Craig, no.
He's younger than 16?
No, far from it, Craig. He's actually 28, turning 29. Now we'll post this on the Twitter, and I'll make sure we do this tomorrow. But just for you, Craig, have a look at that man, and if you believe he is 16,
no, I have seen this.
right? So
I've seen the picture.
We'll post that picture tomorrow. If you think that man is 16, I mean, how he got away with that, I have no
What a
idea.
great moustache for 16 years old.
Can I add something here? I'd quite like to know why he lied, because I'm pretty sure you can play in the Indian Super League as a 28-year-old Indian.
There is no age limit.
Yeah, there isn't any age limit.
I mean, David James is still
There was a tweet from the Indian Super League saying, "Don't miss the sensational scenes from." I'm not even going to try and attempt to say that stadium.
From India.
But after the goal and youngest ever goal scorer, Tim Cahill, ex-Everton starlet, tweeted him saying, "This is the best moment of your life. Enjoy it." It turns out, obviously, then he...
The fraud, he's a phony.
Well, what they did was they
Big fat
basically...
phony.
Do you know how they did it? They checked his registration, and it turns out, and this is the best bit of the whole story for me, I don't know if you know this bit, Dan, but I'll read this word for word. This is not the first time that Mukhi has been caught giving out false information over his age. Back in 2015, he was pulled up in the India under-16 national camp for being too old to take part. So he's 28 and going on 29 now.
So he was 25.
He was 25 trying to take part in basically the national under-16 camp. And it was only because they cross-referenced the two pieces of data with his name that they then realised he wasn't 16. Look at that! Just look at that picture and you tell me that man is even remotely near 16.
As Barry Davis famously once said,
Oh my God.
look at his face, just look at his face.
I'm not saying, there's been incidents in athletics where people's ages and genders have been questioned, and I get that, that, I'm sorry. I mean,
no, forget
he's
the
got
picture.
a full-on moustache, beard. He looks older than me, and I'm nearly 30 for crying out loud.
Forget the picture. Forget the fact he's 28.
Yeah.
Why did he need to lie? There was no restriction on him playing as a 28-year-old Indian. And if he's good enough to score the goals, he would have been playing.
It is my fault. One,
You're gonna
great effort
Look,
this.
I
Two, why would you go to play for under-16s? There's something weird wrong with his head to go, do you know what, I fancy playing for the under-16s because it's a bit easier. No! If you're going to pretend that you're 16, shave the moustache.
I can't.
It's a manly moustache as well.
You can be a 16-year-old and support Movember.
The bit that gets me is like you say.
No.
Maybe his fault was I'm getting closer to 30. No club is going to take me on if they think that I'm older than what I am. Now I get that. Maybe at a push you could blag. I'm 22, etc.
That's me on the night out.
And the thing is,
trying to say you're 16 when you look about 40.
if he said he was 22 or 23, that cross-reference data probably wouldn't have done anything.
No,
it would
exactly.
have said he was further apart.
Exactly.
But to put the same details in your lie twice.
What a stupid idiot.
And nearly double your age as well, which I think is the best bit about all of it. So unfortunately, that record has now gone back to whoever it belonged to before, and he's given a 6-month ban. I mean, what happens after the 6 months?
Let's keep an eye out in a month's time. The guy before who was 16, we'll get a story next month, say he was 42, won't we? So we'll see what happens with that.
So anyway, it's like the guy with that.
I might have built this up a little bit too much on WhatsApp for these people who haven't
you
read the
did,
WhatsApp comments.
but,
I hope you enjoyed the craziness of that story. How that stuff happens is just beyond me.
Mukhi, you idiots.
Would you like me to go next?
Of course you can.
I'm not going to steal your story about the FA Trophy. I'll leave that little one. I'm going to start with a very little one today. It's just one that popped up literally over the last day or so, and it features Fulham goalkeeper, and I know he's Premier League now, Marcus Bettinelli, but it's nothing to do...
England international.
Yes, but it's nothing to do with football. He sent out a tweet yesterday to say,
this is always a good start.
if anyone has lost a dog or knows who she belongs to, please please go to Battersea Dogs Home. Picked her up at 2 p.m. on Fulham Road. She's now at Battersea Dogs Home. And he's included some pictures, and again, for your benefit, I'll show you. He's literally got a dog sitting in the passenger seat on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, don't read the top bit, mate.
I read the top bit.
So later on, there was a tweet about 5 hours later from someone whose name I probably can't mention for legal reasons.
Yes.
To say, "Hi Marcus, I want to thank you so much for taking my dog Daisy to Battersea Dogs Home today. I appreciate you took the time to do this. She's broken her leg, unfortunately, the dog."
Oh.
But she's having x-rays in the morning, she's going to be okay. And Marcus Bettinelli has done a good deed to save that dog's life. It's a lovely little story.
I
lovely little story. I wouldn't put something cruel in there. It was a lovely little twist.
When you said off air, you had a story about Marcus Bettinelli. I had no way, shape or form imagined it going in that direction.
Which is why I wanted to do that. And he sent back a lovely message saying, no problem. So sweet and loving, and he was just absolutely delighted. Well done, Marcus. And it's good to see a little bit of personality from a Premier League footballer in terms of helping out in a general situation. Because I'd imagine most elite Premier League footballers wouldn't have even got out of the car.
No, definitely.
And no doubt the Daily Mail would have twisted that onto something else.
Yes.
But we're not political, Craig.
Over
to you.
Cool. Moving on.
There's no politics here.
Well, I'm going to mention the FA Trophy. So, Needham Market. We're supposed to play Weymouth.
Right.
Away.
Okay.
So, Needham Market's obviously near... Is Norfolk?
Yeah, I'm not sure, yeah.
Well,
it's getting towards that one.
So, and obviously, going all the way to Weymouth is it's a very long journey. It's a long trek.
I just want
However,
yes,
the game got called off.
Yes.
Due to waterlogged pitch, I presume it was. So, obviously, they're supposed to play the game on the Tuesday, but most of the players can't do that because they need to work. Obviously, job comes first ahead of football. So, obviously, unfortunately, Needham Market have to withdraw. So, give the tie away to Weymouth, which is a bit controversial, which is a bit sad, but it's been slated from the FA and from the FA and Weymouth who are not sorting out a little deal.
I want to take Weymouth aside here, but the FA initially came out and pretty much had a dig at Needham Market for pulling out of an FA competition. But you guys understand at lower levels of non-league football is when you've got a game, particularly with FA trophies and FA Cup replays, they're 10 days notice?
Yeah.
Most workplaces, I don't know about yours, but mine certainly does. Unless there's an emergency, you can't book annual leave within 2 or 3 weeks of a day. So how are you expecting 16 players to do that? And can you not show some compassion and put one on a Saturday?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mean to be rude.
I feel for Needham. I feel for Needham Market because
it's
obviously I don't know, they've probably gone through a few rounds to get to this point.
And the prize money
I
is
don't
so
understand
big.
how the hell that got drawn out from one side of the country to the other.
But the prize money at that level is ridiculous.
Do you know the bit that
I think it's first round, but
if it was the FA Cup, because of obviously you have the professional teams coming later on, I'm not saying I get that, but there's obviously a much tighter schedule for that.
And I'd imagine employers would probably be more understanding for that.
But it is the FA Trophy. Is it the FA Trophy?
Yes,
it is. Yeah.
The whole point of that is for semi-pro, like non-league footballers, isn't it? That's the whole point of the trophy. So why would you then put in rules, or not rules, but why would you do that to teams?
I don't understand.
Only designed for them.
One thing I really don't understand is in League 1, League 2, the Checkatrade Trophy, or as it used to be when it was a proper competition, the Johnston Paint Trophy or whatever, they had North and South to stop these sort of things.
Yes.
And that's at League 1 and League 2 professional levels where that's not an issue. Why in the FA Trophy have they not divided it into 2 or 4 sections of the country to ensure there's not more than a 2 hour round trip?
And then you just have...
It's such a simple thing.
Because essentially the semi-finals would be South East winner versus South West versus... But you know what I mean? That sort of thing.
The semi-final and final are going to be in April and May. The games aren't getting waterlogged, and the finals at Wembley.
Yeah.
When you're in the early stages up till, say, the quarterfinals or semis, when you get to that March or April time, why not have it by region of the country, as so many other competitions are? It baffles me that in this day and age that isn't done.
They have to,
and the VARs is the same, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I've been in it. But, we have to, they can't just say, right, take our time of work. But that's literally 2 days' work. And that's a lot of money for
that's the thing, because
depending on what job you've got, it's a lot.
Well, it's not just the game, is it? Like you say, you're going up on the day of, at the very least. Then expecting lads to play 90 minutes after being sat on the coach for
especially on a Tuesday night.
5 hours, whatever, then go home.
You're expecting the club possibly to organise a hotel if they're not able to then get back the same night and rearranging it because they've probably already done it 10 days before.
And there's no way at that level any kind of prize money is going to cover the cost of a day's pay to all of those lads. The prize money is never going to cover that, so you couldn't even do it that way.
And even then, you've got all the legalities of taxes and pensions and things like that. it just shows a lack of compassion and shows where the FA has no understanding of grassroots football.
I was about to say.
Because a very small point on that is where Martin Glenn's going to be leaving his role.
Yeah.
And it's been earmarked by the top pundits and things as a great success because the England team are doing well and there's good young English players playing in the higher leagues at a greater rate than before. Yeah. But what's going on at grassroots?
And that's the thing, without getting really negative, this is genuinely one of hundreds of examples we've highlighted of just the FA being completely out of touch with the grassroots, lower level sort of football, really, and it is.
Yeah, so FA just use a bit more common fucking sense, boys. Simple.
Nice and simple there, mate.
I'll get to the point.
I've got one about FAs, not the English FA.
The Welsh FA.
The Welsh FA.
Good
it is our favourite
segue.
team, and Nissadu, who we haven't
I'm
mentioned.
Cambrian and Clydac over here.
Oh yeah, sorry, yes, yeah, no, fair enough. Well, now Nissadu are not really in the news as much. We don't talk about. It was just a really quick one. Just I think basically.
He's a glory hunter.
No. What I meant was they're doing really well, but
they are doing really well.
They were fined £125 for a flare going off at a match.
Yes. I love the irony of this.
The irony is shocking.
By the Welsh FA, which I'm not saying I agree with but if there's a rule that's been broken,
I agree with that fine. What I don't agree with is what you're about to say,
which is that then the Welsh FA then released a poster for a friendly against Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And Craig, would you like to say nice and loud what you can see going off in the poster?
Look by your phone. There's a bit of smoke there. It looks like a flare.
A giant red flare.
And white one as well.
At a Welsh national team football match.
Yes. So
they're fining. They're fining one of their affiliates. Is that the right word? Whatever. One of their member clubs.
Yes.
For setting a flare off, and yet you're allowed to do it at the national team, and they're allowed to advertise setting off flares at a national team game.
Yes. They basically just haven't thought it through, and again, completely out of touch with its member clubs in the lower leagues.
So they got fined £125. Is that correct? Did I read that right?
They got fined £125, which don't sound a lot.
That's stupid. That's still a lot of money though.
For an amateur club, it's a tremendous.
I have no problem with the club being fined for the flare. But how you can then advertise your national game with that in the back? I mean, who's let that go through? It's such a touchy subject in the UK in football at the moment. Yeah. So then let it go through is baffling to me again. Merry Christmas, everyone.
The thing is, with all these fines, we are going to have a little mini videos of guess the fines. So
and we will make sure we get a Welsh FA in there at some point.
We will get a Welsh FA.
At least we'll have a head start on one this time.
That's true. Really quickly, did you see that Stephen Ireland has been let go from Bolton Wanderers without playing a single game for?
Yeah, good for him.
There you go. Next story. Just want to share that.
Go on, Craig.
Actually, I'm going to go to Holland. Has anyone seen the AZ Alkmaar striker? I can't remember his name. Matt.
He sounded a bit like me then.
Matt, who was that? Sorry.
Don't matter.
You can't keep turning away from the microphone hoping it'll go away. No. What was his name? Craig, you brought this story up. What was his name?
Sujan, whatever it is. It's definitely wrong.
Matt Sujan
probably is.
Thank you for
that. He played the game, he chipped the goalkeeper, you think, absolutely fair, fantastic, well done, Hugh. Ball bounced, backspin, on the line, and spun out.
I'm like, surely?
No, he didn't.
It never went over the line.
You think normally you chip it, and it will bounce, and it will go in, but somehow...
Oh, sorry, I misheard you, sorry.
The spin on the ball, backspun, and stayed out.
I can't remember what it was.
So he looked stunned, like... I scored. And I don't know if he's either stunned as he couldn't, had he not scored, or he's stunned that I've scored and it hasn't gone in.
I can never remember what it was. Do you remember that penalty years ago? Where the keeper started celebrating because the ball hit the bar, bounced out, and then it randomly backspun and driven
somewhere in South America.
It was the reverse of that.
Yeah,
exact reverse.
There's nothing better though. I've got to be honest, as a football fan, there's nothing better than seeing a striker maybe take a shot or something like that, start to wheel off, and then either find out they're offside or
stuck in the ball, got
the
stuck in
centre half. He clears off the line. It's nothing better than just seeing the striker just think he's put one in the back of the net and then just start to wheel off, and then the despair that hits it when it hasn't gone in. I love that.
Speaking of despair. Have you also seen the video of the best goal knife scramble you've ever seen in football?
Yes.
Between
Wingate
and Finchley and Dulwich Hamlet, which I don't know how.
Again, on our Twitter feed.
It's on the Twitter feed, but 6
20
chances.
seconds long.
Of 6 chances.
There's one where I don't know who it is, centre half or what, but he literally throws his head
on the
and
he was laying on the line and he smashed his head. I mean, how there was no blood in that? I have no idea.
One, how there's no blood, and 2, how has it not gone in? So,
and you might be able to tell that we're 3 defenders on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's good defending. And
absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Okay, I'm going to go a bit closer to home for us. Stevenage, or as they used to be called, Stevenage Borough, which I still keep saying, even though they're not Stevenage Borough anymore.
No, I think they are Stevenage Borough still.
No, they're still.
Well, there's a mistake coming up on Load FM.
Like Wellstone, moving on.
quite recently in Sports Personality of the Year, wasn't it?
It was last
Lewis
weekend.
Hamilton. Now I know this is not a Formula 1 podcast, but it does link back to football. I just need to get this first few sentences out of the way. He didn't win, but he basically in his acceptance speech, is that the right word?
Yeah.
In his acceptance speech, he referred to Stevenage, where he's obviously from, as the slums. Obviously,
fair play.
I don't know.
He backtracked within a second.
Yeah, but
it was clearly just a slip of the tongue. I mean, if you got penalised, Charlie, for every slip
no,
of the tongue,
exactly,
you
that's
made,
what I mean. Which is not the issue. That's not the issue at all. Okay. I quite like Stevenage. I got a bed from there recently. But it's.
So many beds.
Well, just to back it up though, Stevenage FC have now offered him a chance to go to their ground. Obviously, this is
half built.
Well, no, I'm just saying that you know.
All the way.
Yeah, they've offered. So they've offered.
That's not going to change his opinion, is it?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying. But basically, so he was personally invited to a game against. Any home game he wants to go to. Sorry, personally invited to a Stevenage Borough game.
So you've done your research.
No, I've got it. After he referred to them as the slums, the boss Dino Mamria has said that the town she should not be too harsh about Stevenage and she should be proud of it. Unfortunately, he has declined to go to Stevenage.
I guess
fair play, because I heard he's going Kenilworth Road.
No.
I guess one of the things I would say in Stevenage's defence is where they've got the new part of the town up with the train station, things like that. In the overhead walkway, they've got a massive thing of all the sporting heroes from the town. With the likes of Ashley Young.
Oh yes,
Ian
I went
Poulter
to the theatre there. I saw that.
That's it, what a theatre. And the biggest one on the wall is Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be coming down very soon.
Some will graffiti it probably, but we don't condone graffiti in Lewis Hamilton's thingy.
No. I think though he should go to a game at least.
I
personally
don't think he should.
I'm just saying, if you're going to refer to
give the ticket to someone who wants to go if they can ever sell their ground out.
No, that's
it could be at a christening.
Really quickly, while we're leaving, just one more quick headline. Did you see that Cambridge United's new boss is
Colin Calderwood?
Colin Calderwood.
Is it?
Recently left Villa as what's his name's assistant.
Steve Bruce's assistant.
That's a very good appointment.
It is.
I wonder if we'll get Steve in for a few training sessions.
Yeah.
I was going to let one of you two have a go because my story's perfect for a finish.
Let one of you two have a go. He just had 6.
Well, my story's perfect for the ending, so I'll let you guys finish all yours off first.
Well, I'm going to go to an under-18 game between Clevedon Town and Manchester City.
I'm quite excited about this one because I wasn't expecting to hear Cleveland Town.
No,
What's it?
So obviously it's the FA Youth Cup.
Okay.
And obviously it was viewed by over 1,000 people for a non-league side.
Wow. That's
I know it's Manchester City under 18s.
Yeah.
Still, 1,000 people were there.
Do you know the result?
It was 4-0 to Man City. So
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
And none of them will ever play in the first team.
If that won, Pep would have moaned. But it's nice to, I know it's Man City and it's a youth team, but it's good for the non-league side to get a few more quid in. And
I suppose you won't know the answer to this, but do you know what the admission fee was?
I'm very good with admission fees, but no.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Have you got any more, mate?
Yes, I'm going to go back to the FA Trophy again. Obviously, we mentioned about Needham Market, but there was a replay between Bedford Town and Aldershot.
Oh yes,
this is a great story from the
Great story. Can I just add before you got in there? Be careful which Aldershot Town Twitter account you look at because I got completely duped by. There's an official one and then there's an unofficial one which looks very, very similar to the official one.
And the unofficial one is called Official Shots, which is a little bit different.
Yeah, so that's
and the fake one's got official with the 1.
I got quite a shock when I looked at the parody one because I thought this is a National League club. Should they really be tweeting some of this stuff?
But have you seen AS Roma's English one, which is one of the best Twitters you will ever see? Get on there and follow it. It's fantastic.
Anyway, Craig, sorry about Aldershot.
Aldershot first team have got a player injury crisis. They've only got 10 fit first team players,
and obviously they're, as far as I'm aware, not having a great run in the National League, are they? So
their form's a bit dip, but we'll go on to that when we do a mid-season prediction.
Yeah, but anyway, the point being though, this is why they didn't risk it, isn't it?
So Aldershot have not risked them playing their first team games against. No disrespect for Bedford Town.
Rightly so. The FA Trophy is the least of their priorities.
It is. So they decided to fill their youth team out. So do you think that's a bit disrespectful to Bedford Town? Or
no, it's a win-win, isn't it?
It's a win. I think for Bedford Town it's kind of a win-win.
Well, yeah, but Bedford Town now have got
they've got Chesterfield,
and then also team near us, Biggleswade, they've got filed in the next round of the trophy.
Really?
Yeah, they've got filed in the next round of the
trophy. Bedford Town are not far off a National League wage structure now. The way
it's Paul Benson and people like that.
Yeah, but I played with a few players at Bedford Town.
I don't think
they're doing good.
I'll mention Paul Benson when you finish, but carry on.
Yeah, I don't think that's disrespectful because really, it's okay.
To be fair,
in fairness,
they've got the prize money and the Chesterfield.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and for a non-league club, that could potentially be another year's salary paid already. If that, prize money, whatever.
I don't mean to be rude. They've played 11 youth players in that game.
Yes.
If they had taken their full squad of fit players, there would have been 6 youth players in the squad.
Yeah, exactly.
What can they do?
In a good sense of a football shot is they've given the youth players a chance to play
and
a higher
I would
level.
say
it was great to see the Bedford fans applaud them off.
Yeah,
really
and
good.
is it Gary Waddock? Is that his name? The
Gary
manager.
Waddock,
He's damned if he does either way, isn't he? Because if he takes a strong side there, gets 2 injuries. I mean, he's then got to go to their next national league
he's
game
untouchable there because he's the man that took him into the football league.
No, but what I mean is that if they get.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, if they get 2 injuries against Bedford, though, he's then got to go to a National League match with eight fit first team players. You can't.
The one thing I don't understand,
you can't have a go at him for
and
doing
it goes back to something we mentioned last week when one of you brought up Darren McAnany, the Peterborough owner, his stupid idea about loan rules. It's why are clubs not helping them out? The National League, if people don't know, not the EFL, but the National League and below, non-league, the window's open from the start of the season all the way through to mid-March. Why is someone not helping them out with a few loan players? They've got local clubs near there. I think Reading's not too far away.
Portsmouth's not far from there at all. Portsmouth's really close.
I mean, but all that region down the south, the Reading, Swindon, all the way down to the Pompeys.
Well, don't Chelsea youth team play there?
Well, possibly, but it's technically in Hampshire. I know that. So then you've got Southampton, Portsmouth. Bournemouth, which is
how does it not benefit the young players at the Premier League and Portsmouth and things like that, or even Reading, whichever level you're at down to League Two, to send players for a month's loan there, even if it is they're going to make some sub appearances with some pros.
But I'll tell you what though, the positive for the youth players is they're going to get league experience over this Christmas period. Because obviously, if you've only got 10 first team players, there's going to be some that's going to be on the bench. It's still that little bit of experience.
It's great when there's 2 or 3, but I mean, that game, if you lose 7-0 every game, I mean, it's going to be an absolute nightmare.
You've seen that a few times, it's gone.
A bit like, I know it wasn't with youth players, but Maidenhead the other week, how long it took them to get out of that when they were losing 5 or 6 every week. But just quickly on Paul Benson while you were there, there was a brilliant interview with him this week. Obviously, we love him from his title-winning campaign at Luton, where he was fantastic alongside now Premier League Andre Gray.
Yeah, but he's scum now. Sorry.
He did an interview about why he loved still playing, going down the leagues, and carried on playing towards 40. And just said he scored a goal in the FA Trophy in the round before, and it felt like when he scored for Luton in the title-winning campaign. He said, "As long as I have that feeling, I will play no matter what."
That's
level
good.
it is.
That's what you want.
And that's what you want to see. And it's something that's lost. We mention it a lot when we don't cover the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's lost at Premier League.
No, definitely.
I don't really care about scoring. I don't need to celebrate about my former club. They paid me £5 million, you know.
But just a case, something. Not just there to collect their money as such.
Yeah, he's absolutely loving it, and he's trying to help the young players at the club. So brilliant for him.
Yeah, I've got 3 really quick ones, and then that's me finished. Via Africa and Scotland.
Okay, slow down.
Okay, sorry.
Slow down.
Calm. We've got plenty of time. Everyone that was watching knew there was going to be an African Chronicles. It's fine. We know it's going to be a weekly thing.
And now it's time for Charlie's African story.
It's not actually yet.
Delay.
No, just really quick. I know
he's made you look like an idiot.
It's like Gatwick, it's a bit of a delay.
No, I know he's an elite footballer, but I don't know if have you heard about Barcelona's Rafinha?
No.
So basically,
I did hear
he didn't realise his sponsorship deal with Adidas was still going, and he started wearing Mizuno boots.
Oh.
Other boots are available, by the way.
They are.
Get on those Sondic.
They didn't realise, but Adidas want to basically fine him €100,000 for every day that he's worn. That he's not, since his contract has still been going with Adidas, but he's worn other clothing and other.
Okay, so how's he not know that he's Adidas contract?
Well, I mean, I will say a lot of these now are handled by agents. The point being, Adidas still want to fine him. He's injured for the rest of the season.
Oh,
he's not going to play again this season, so he's not going to wear the boots. So what exactly are they going to fine him for? It just honestly.
Why don't they just send him some Adidas slippers?
Well, that's what I mean.
I'm assuming it's the attire he's wearing outside the game. As in like AS trackies or
genuinely on that contract can't be worth more than $100,000 a day. Stop getting greedy. Charge him his contract and leave the rest.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. But that's no, I don't. There's not really much else to say. It's just a stupid story.
It's very rare that I've ever got that level of agreement from someone else.
Sort out yes.
We're going to go to Africa now, Craig.
Okay, and now it's time for Charlie's Africa stories.
Just really quickly, I don't know if you did see that Madagascar have actually qualified for the African Cup of Nations.
Okay. Fantastic.
Let's hope the tournament takes place.
And it's a good film as well.
No, see, that's the thing, Craig. I'm glad you said that because you played straight into my hand. The president, the team manager have all said, we are more than just a movie. They're so fed up with the tag of Madagascar.
I think they did 2, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
It might have been done.
I missed the Penguins though. The Penguins were edge. Sorry.
I think you're putting him off.
No, not putting me off. You're upsetting the people of Madagascar. We don't really know. I'm joking.
That's why I'm going on holiday next year.
No, considering genuinely.
Let us know down in the comments if you are, but I'll be very surprised if anyone from Madagascar ever listens to this.
I am going to.
But if you are listening, please prove me wrong.
Well, congratulations as well for making it to the African Cup of Nations.
So more than just a kids film. The one thing they did want to, they beat Sudan 3-1.
Was it the line that scored a hat-trick?
I don't know if it was the line. But no, because they've actually been quite clever. What they've had is they've got a French manager now.
Oh.
And what he's realised is that, because it used to be a French colony,
yes,
there's a lot of people who live in France or are French of Madagascar.
Oh, so now they're all claiming themselves Madagascar now.
They've got a few French players in, which has then raised the standard, no disrespect to Madagascar football, but has raised the standard. A lot of lads who are playing in the lower leagues of France,
yes,
which is still obviously a better standard than most African sort of professional
leagues.
So they've got a few of them in, and now they're qualified for the first time for the African Cup of Nations. So, but then the issue, I suppose, is the sustainability of that. Is you need to keep.
Oh, I'll tell you what. The way the things are going, they might be hosting it.
Well, yeah,
it's true. We still don't know who's hosting it.
And no, not yet.
Not officially.
No.
It's definitely not Cameroon.
My last story is going back to Scotland. The returning story of Fort William FC.
Have they won yet? Have they won yet?
They still haven't won. So we're up to a season and a half now without a win.
Can we say at this point that there's I know it's not something we generally cover, but a Football Manager YouTuber is doing a Fort William story. He's doing fundraising for the club as well. Yes, he's doing fundraising for the club. It's really brilliant. So just go check it out and look at the Just Giving page and things like that.
It's funny you mention that because I'm not saying we start a campaign because we're nowhere near powerful enough. But they've just started. No, hang on. They've just started a club merchandise only online at the minute.
That was based on that series.
Was it really? From that. So you can now buy like t-shirts, jumpers. Obviously, hoodies and stuff are maybe a bit too pricey for people like us who haven't watched it. But to support the club, bobble hats are like £5 and stuff.
Ooh.
If you do have a spare £5-10 and you're want to help a like a non-league football club who are obviously struggling and need as much money as they can get to keep afloat and keep
in such a difficult region.
And like we were saying,
as we've mentioned,
we've mentioned before about watching that documentary and the community and how it involves them. I'm not saying that you go and spend like your Christmas money on it, but a £5 bobble hat or something like that can't hurt. So, get on there, see maybe contribute to the club in that way, as well as like you were just saying, Just Giving page, and at least you get a bit of merchandise for doing it.
That's
true.
true.
At the very least, follow that series because it will tell you a bit more about Fort William.
Or you can buy a Fort William Christmas jumper.
No, I don't think you can buy a Fort William Christmas jumper. No, but on a serious note, just finish off. Try and support them more because I think it's such an amazing story. It'd be a real shame if they end up
once they win.
And even over the Christmas period, if you've got the family together, go to a non-league football game.
Yeah.
They're normally only around a £5.
There's games on Boxing Day and there's games on New Year's Day and
in between.
And in between as well.
That's how it works.
I believe, Dan, you've got a nice feel-good story to finish up on.
I have. I've got a positive story to finish on. As you rightly just said, I don't know why I felt the need to repeat what you just said. There we go.
You copy me.
It's got a little tiny link to Fort William, not in terms of the club, but you mentioned about Fort William, the very picturesque background.
It's lovely.
And the place I'm taking you to now has a very picturesque background to their stadium.
Okay.
So again, like Charlie said earlier, there are going to be some howlers in the pronunciations here. Absolute howlers.
We apologise for any howlers of pronunciation.
Absolutely.
We say right now.
So I want to take you to the Austrian third tier.
Oh, good.
Is this the one with the train?
I love stories like this.
No idea.
Go for it.
No idea. So
what's the name of the team?
We'll get to that.
Oh.
I'm talking about an English football manager called Sean Caldwell.
Right.
Okay. He went on holiday to a place in Austria called Kitzbuhel, I think it is.
Okay.
But it's the U with the 2 dots above, so it could be anything.
Oh, right, yeah.
But he's ended up working at their town's football club in the Austrian lower leagues.
So he's gone on holiday and just not come back.
It's a popular skiing resort. It hosts World Cup ski races. It's a really famous skiing track and resort even for the professionals, but obviously as a holiday destination as well. But he used to go there every year in the summer or the winter, wherever it was he had his break. No, he has a break at any point of the year. I don't know why. I'm hamstringing myself when I don't need to.
But April, October will be alright as well.
But it's been going as that resort for centuries. He's been going for around a decade. And then one summer he ended up in the local football club. And he's now the manager there and has been there for 3.5 years. In that time, they've had a promotion. But the reason I wanted to mention it is because he's used his links in Britain to get a lot of players over there.
Oh, okay.
And it links back to my story from our first ramble about Dorking Wanderers, because one of the first players to come over there is now at Dorking.
Right.
It's just a really great story of players going over there. As a coach, he says, I never would have got the development or the chance in England, as we so often mention with players and coaches.
Because coaching fees cost too much.
Yes, and then when they qualify, they don't get a bloody chance.
No.
But here, he's taken a club up. And he keeps, as he says, it's not for everyone, but some people, he'll get an opportunity in the lower leagues in England and might think, well, this is actually better. And what's better than going to your favourite holiday destination and finding out you can stay there? I mean, realistically. But he's taken himself out of his comfort zone. He's done coaching badges over there. He's learnt the new language.
Yeah.
He's had
which I'm sure is cheaper to do over there. For
yes.
starters, and obviously, it's brilliant. If you're passionate about skiing, it's a win-win, isn't it?
Exactly. And obviously, he's had plenty of help. He's brought in English players, so he's had the chance to have compatriots or people with like-minded language skills and things like that. But I just thought it was an absolutely brilliant story. He's learnt German. He's able to recruit now, able to discuss now, and he's been getting recruitment in local levels. In a place where they were obviously not really not really a footballing place beforehand, and now they're quite focused. They're moving through the leagues, and there's even a talk that in the next year or two, if he stays, they might be able to go up to the second tier, which would be unheard of for a club like that. So I just thought it was an absolutely lovely story to end on, and because it's about the winter slopes, it's slightly Christmassy and can end us on snow, which is something we won't see in England on Christmas Day this year.
Yes, because this was the Christmas Ramble, and that was the only Christmas story.
Okay, it is question of the day. Craig's favourite part of the show.
It's not really a question of the day.
No, I don't know.
It's
just sort of
name the Matchday squad.
Name the Matchday squad thing.
If it wasn't for legalities, we'd call it the missing members. I'd imagine.
So we're going to pick another fixture. You're going to try and name as many of the starting 11 or subs that were used.
Is it still in a sudden death format?
I was about to get to that point. It is a sudden death format, meaning if you get one wrong and your opponent gets it right, they win.
I think you've covered the 2 rules that Craig broke in the first 2 weeks.
The rules are on the screen right now, so...
so, Craig...
Join in at home!
Get a mental note in, Craig. Read them.
So you're going to take it in turns. Just to clarify, this week we're going international. I did look at some fixtures that take place around Christmas. I'll be honest, there's none that have really stood out, so we're just going to go for an international match. One that I remember for a controversial reason and hopefully will stick in your minds and we'll get a few answers for. Okay, are you ready?
Let's just say international football is going to go very badly.
Well, you say that, I don't know. They're 2 big teams. So we're going to go back to 2010. In fact, the 2010 World Cup. Okay, England versus Germany. You'll remember Frank Lampard controversially disallowed
So he's already given us
That's
a clue.
Well, thanks for that, lads. I'm going first this week.
Hang on. All right, okay, I've given you one answer. I think you probably would have got that anyway because that was... I'll try that again.
That was the moment
The
of
game which had a controversial disallowed goal by an England player.
There's no coming back from that. It's just like Craig's Grimsby all the way back in Series 1, which there's a link to the IBA.
So, just to clarify, 3 subs were made by both teams, so you're looking for 14 players.
And now, thanks to you, it's going to be an odd number, isn't it?
It is an odd number,
Yes.
right. Who wants to go first?
It's Cody's going to go first, so I wonder who's going for first.
I've got a sneaky suspicion that Frank Lampard played that game, mate.
Frank Lampard did play, yes, you're off the mark.
Are you still trying to do this by your hands again?
No, I've got it.
It's got on the screen. So I'm going to go for Manuel Neuer.
Manuel Neuer did start a goal for Germany, yes.
Blimey, I thought that was too early. Too early for him to be playing. That's all right. Moving on.
Really?
8 years ago. Mesut Ozil.
He did play and he was substituted off after 83 minutes.
As he is in so many games.
Gareth Barry.
Gareth Barry did start in the centre of midfield for England.
Matthew Upson, the goal scorer.
He was, yes, yeah. Matthew Upson scored, played at centre half.
It hit off his face.
I mean, I'm out. I really don't remember.
Ashley Cole.
Oh, that was my next one.
Ashley Cole did play, yes, at left back.
See, I think I know who the right back is, but I'm not confident enough. Let's go for Steven Gerrard.
He was captain that day, and yes, of course, he started the game.
Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney also played, yes.
I really can't remember much of that England
You
team.
carry
It's
on,
quite
mate.
bad.
I'm absolutely fine right now.
I'm trying to think of the goalkeeper because I'm thinking Rob Green obviously started the tournament, and then we all know what happened there.
Go for it.
Wasn't him.
I'm with you on that one.
I'm going for David James.
Yeah,
He did start and goal, yes, David James.
A very old David James.
A very old David James, indeed.
David James. Lucas Podolski.
Oh, good shout.
Yes, he started for Germany, wearing number 10, no less.
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong in saying this, but was the other centre half John Terry?
It was indeed, yes, John Terry.
Because I remember, didn't he have a different partner every single game of the World
I
Cup?
think you're right, yeah. So
Well,
we've got the England goalkeeper and all of the back 4 so far.
We're
Plus-
not political, Craig. Let's not talk about that.
Plus 2
No,
centre
Bernard got injured.
midfielders and 1 centre forward so far.
Jermaine Defoe.
That was his strike partner of Wayne Rooney's, yes, Jermaine Defoe. He came off after 71 minutes.
Yeah, I know who came on for him.
I think I know. I still think I know the right back, but I don't know if I want to risk it this early on.
Who was the right back?
I'm going to go for it. Oh, but you don't know.
Oh, I know the right back.
Glenn Johnson.
Yeah, he was.
Was correct, yes. Hooked on 81 minutes and also substituted after 87 minutes.
Well, that was pointless. The game was gone.
I'm going to go for Matt Hummels.
Is he not? Is he not?
Matt Hummels didn't play.
Brilliant! I'm going to go for what I think is the safest.
Son of a bitch.
So I've got two of the safest bets in the book here.
That's why I saved the safest bets.
Which are either Philip Lahm or Bastian Schweinsteiger. So take your pick out of those two, Charlie, because they both started.
They did both start.
It's 3-1. Hashtag where's the fair, Craig? You've only hamstrung yourself that time. This is easy, this quiz.
Would you like me to go through the team?
Who was the centre back for Germany?
I'll go through. So we'll start with England because we've got through most of them. So David James in goal, Glenn Johnson at fullback, Matthew Upson, John Terry, Ashley Cole, James Milner right midfield.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard, Gareth Barry, Stephen Gerrard at left midfield. I mean, you wonder why we got beat. Up front was Jermaine Defoe and Wayne Rooney. Coming off of the bench for England because there was obviously in the World Cup.
Because I knew Heskey.
No. Because in the World Cup you had about 10 subs. So I won't name all of them. Just
I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to edit it.
You've got Joe Cole, Emil Heskey, and Sean Wright-Phillips. Now, Craig, here we go for the German team. In goal was Manuel Neuer.
Yeah.
Right back Philipp Lahm. Centre back Per Mertesacker. Arne Friedrich.
Fucking
Friedrich.
Friedrich. Oh, you got that wrong as well.
Arne Friedrich.
Lucky you didn't get to that point, isn't it?
Left back was Jerome Boateng.
Is it not Schmelzer?
No, left back Jerome Boateng. Centre midfielders Bastian Schweinsteiger and Sami Khedira, and then obviously they played a slightly different formation. So right wing was Thomas Muller, attacking midfielder Mesut Ozil, Lucas Podolski on the left, up front Miroslav Klose. Coming off the bench for Germany were Piotr Trikowski, Mario Gomez, and Stefan Kleibling or Kiesling. I don't know how you pronounce that. Kiesling. So that concludes the quiz again.
I don't know why Craig he tries to be tactical.
Yeah, you keep the safe ones to the end. I mean, you've done it 3 times now, and you've lost 3 times.
He might want to change tactics.
Might change for games, which is disappointing.
I will say off air, Dan, you were slightly sceptical about doing an international game, but I think now that's gone in your favour slightly, hasn't it?
I mean, at this point, I'm happy to play Craig against any game.
No, so it's currently through. However, we've got weeks and weeks ahead of us, and Craig, you're not out of it yet.
It's
the lead will get wider.
It's bounce back ability, mate. Bounce back ability. And that is it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we wish you all a Merry Christmas here from the Honest Football Ramble and a Happy New Year. And we'll see you next time.